Today we're going to talk about WildC.A.T.s Trilogy #1. Story by Brandon Choi and Daphid Nguyen, with art by Jae Lee. Co-created by Brandon Choi and Jim Lee. A man who is simply known as Lonely makes his way through the dark streets of New York. He's known for dealing and selling in information. And information is exactly what Grifter is out to get from him tonight. This time it was actually Lonely who contacted Grifter with some information. Lonely tells Grifter about activity the Cabal has going on, and it involves something he mistakenly calls the Code, which Grifter quickly realizes means the Coda. But before Grifter can get any more out of Lonely, Lonely sneaks away and we see that he's actually working with the Coda. A decision that almost costs him his life. But a mysterious man decides to spare Lonely's life, thinking he will be useful later. Meanwhile, at the WildC.A.T.s training facility, the team is practicing with their newest recruit, Voodoo. Tensions run high as Spartan does not go easy on the group, knowing what they will be up against. Warblade gets frustrated with Voodoo and tries to attack her, but Spartan gets in the way. Lucky for him, Lord Imp and Void show up just in time, allowing Void to stop Warblade with a force field. Lord Imp is frustrated because they're not acting as a team, and on top of that, Grifter and Zealot are out doing their own thing. But in the midst of his frustration, Lord Imp lets Spartan know that he's still holding on to Voodoo after the attack. But Voodoo takes the cue from Spartan and lets him know that the feelings might be reciprocated. Meanwhile, down at the docks, Grifter is scoping out a couple of the Cabal's lackeys. And even though something tells him that he should have called in the rest of the team, or at the very least Zealot, he moves in anyway. And after he takes them out, it begins to worry him how easy that was. And as he ventures further, he realizes his feelings were very valid. Grifter escapes the hybridroids, but is confronted by Lonely, who is definitely not alone as a mysterious man emerges. And he quickly takes out Grifter. Elsewhere, Void senses that Grifter is in danger. Lord Imp checks on Void and she tells him about Grifter. He then tells her to get the team prep for a rescue mission. Half a world away, a mysterious woman stands in an underground cavern. Her name is Delphi, and she can see into worlds beyond our own, and she sees someone she refers to as the Betrayer. Getting back to Grifter, he finally awakens to face his captors. He finds his captors are a Coda named Artemis and a man named Hightower. Artemis is angry with Zealot because she says she betrayed the Coda, and she intends to use Grifter as bait. But Zealot has already arrived, and the two warriors engage in a sacred death match where only one of them will survive. And there you have WildC.A.T.s Trilogy #1. I didn't pick this up back in the day because honestly I was not a fan of Jae Lee's art. Now before you hit that dislike button, let me explain. I just didn't feel that his art was right for the WildC.A.T.s, but as I was doing this review I did come to appreciate more of the detail he puts in his work. And then later I did appreciate his own creator-owned Hellshock and also the Gunslinger work he did in the Dark Tower series. The characters of Lonely and Artemis actually make appearances in the WildC.A.T.s cartoon, so I'm eager to check that out again because I haven't seen it in years. So if you like this video, be sure and hit like, and please subscribe, because I'll be hitting the rest of the issues for the WildC.A.T.s Trilogy, as well as more of the old Wildstorm stuff and some of the appearances of the new Wildstorm characters in the DCU. So until then, we'll see you next time.